Welcome back to Biomes. This time we are talking about the island of Alcatraz. Now, I'm willing to bet that almost everybody is at least passingly familiar with the island of Alcatraz, most famous for being an inescapable prison. However, it was only a prison for less than 30 years, which in the grand scheme of the island's existence is not that long. Now, the island of Alcatraz was discovered in 1775, but it was known about by the Native American locals around the area for quite a bit longer than that. But when it was first landed on by Spanish explorers, it was called La Isla de los Alcatrazes. Don't come at me for my pronunciation, which translates to the Island of the Pelicans in Old Spanish. And before it was a prison, there was a lighthouse on there, which was very important and I think is still up and running today, and it is a very actually important wildlife area. To start off with the flora of the island, there aren't a whole lot of diversity in the native plants. It is a very sparse and kind of inhospitable island for plants, but there are still native grasses and bushes like the coyote bush, as well as some native wildflowers such as wild lupins. But the majority of the plant life on the island is made up of introduced species brought by largely the wives of jailers and officers that were manning the island during its prison time. So that includes imported plants such as agave, specifically the fox-tailed agave, apple and fig trees, which are still producing fruit throughout the island, vines and bushes such as honeysuckle and now wild blackberries, and many ornamental plants such as roses, daffodils, and other flowers that have since either died out due to the harsh conditions or gone completely feral and taken over large areas of the island. Now, like many isolated islands, there aren't that many mammals or land vertebrates found due to their isolation. Most of the animals are small rodents such as deer mice, and it's lacking in any large mammalian predators such as coyotes, wolves, cougars, any of that. The only mammals there other than humans are just little guys. Similarly, with reptiles and amphibians, there aren't that many there. However, Alcatraz is a very important spot for the California slender salamander, which has a quite large population there. As for invertebrates, it's mainly just the regular stuff, like a couple species of spiders, flies, beetles, but there are also quite a few banana slugs. The really only large mammal, again other than humans, that visits Alcatraz are the occasional harbor seals, which just kind of hang out on the shores and docks and rocks and all that. But the most important and well-known animal that is found on Alcatraz are the birds, particularly the seabirds, such as this brown pelican, the namesake of the island. And in this picture in specific, you can see this brown pelican, and there is Alcatraz in the background. The most commonly known, probably seabird in general, are the seagulls. This one in specific is the western gull, but there are multiple types of gulls that breed and lay their eggs and just hang out on the island. Other seabirds include things like this guy, the pigeon guillemot, which I did not think that's how that word was pronounced. I speak French as a second language badly, but I thought that it would have a way more French-sounding pronunciation. Just a little side note there. But there's also, those guys, as well as cormorants. The black-crested night heron also breeds and lives there very commonly, along with a favorite bird of mine, the snowy egret. And there's not that many predatory birds on there as well, which makes Alcatraz a very, very good breeding site for seabirds. However, the occasional peregrine falcon can be seen there, And recently, it's thought that a breeding pair has established a nest on there, but we, as far as I know, aren't 100% confirmed of that. So overall, the island of Alcatraz is very famous for multiple reasons and has been featured in many, many different types of media, but as the name suggests, it all really does just come down to the birds.